What's up, boys? Welcome back to this channel. We're gonna react to Kanon's full, honest review of Chrono Odyssey. Let's see. So he played the full game. Let's see what he says about it. I just want to let you guys know that I stream every day at twitch.tv/sexyverse. Check it out. Peace.
Today I get to finally share my full review on Chrono Odyssey. No sugarcoating, just an honest, direct review of the game. We're going to be covering everything the game has to offer, including my personal thoughts and opinions, of course. But before we begin, real quick, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'm streaming almost every single day. If I get keys for the beta test, I will be giving them out via Twitch. So definitely come stop by. Now, before we begin, this review, as well as
same, by the way, same.
That's being published.
Once I get all the beta keys, hey, my boys, your guys are all getting in. You guys are all getting in. You're all gonna play with me for sure.
This week will be based off of an older beta build. This build is a very similar build to what we tested back in February and will be pretty much the same build you guys get to test on the 20th of this month.
Okay.
I know for a fact that there are some significant things based on our feedback that have already changed but will not be seen. Fortunately, however, not allowed to say what those changes are. So despite finally being able to reveal almost everything, there are still some things that I can't talk about.
So we're gonna have an older build, basically similar to what they have played. So the IGN/Chrono Odyssey video that we just saw won't be what we're gonna be playing. That's like more up to date. We're gonna have an older version, I guess. Okay.
This review is going to be strictly based off of the build we will be seeing this month. Some of my criticisms in this very video have already been addressed. I want to be very upfront here. In this video, I'm going to be very honest, calling out the good and the bad as directly as I can. I want everyone to know that this is a game that I'm super excited about and I see a lot of potential in. We'll be going over my honest thoughts at the end of the video here, but I genuinely want to see this game succeed, and I think there's a real chance it could. But the only way it gets there is if we give real feedback, which includes calling out the issues.
Sure.
Not just in this video, but generally speaking.
That looks so bad. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, it's the first build that we're gonna be getting, so obviously this is expected, right? Like, even if you look at the swing this boss just did, right? Look at this. Look at the swing.
Not just in this video, but generally speaking. Now, with that out the way,
like, it looks so chopped, right? I mean, it's expected, right? This is completely expected for a beta, closed beta. But he said a lot of things were addressed, so hey, let's keep watching.
Cal invited a select number of content creators to check out, review their game, and share their honest thoughts. We had just over 2 days to play this time around, and I believe I had around 30 hours this testing phase according to Steam, with another nearly 40 hours or so in the previous test, giving me roughly around 70-ish hours of total playtime now. This build allowed us to experience the first 15 to 25 levels worth of content, so just the early game. Let's begin with what Chrono Odyssey is. Chrono is an action combat dark fantasy open world MMORPG.
I'm sorry, bro. This looks really this looks really bad. The guy's like, he's like strafing. It's so funny. Look at this.
Chrono is an action combat.
It's just so funny. Look at this. Look at this.
Let's begin with what Chrono Odyssey is.
Look.
Chrono is an action combat dark fantasy open world MMORPG that leans towards a sandbox. We'll be talking about the content that's in Chrono in more detail later in the video. This is an MMO with a more PvE focus, but will include non-forced PvP as well. One of the biggest distinguishing factors for Chrono is that it has a more Souls-like feel to it, to the point where trailers make it seem more like a single-player action RPG rather than an MMO. But make no mistake, this is a full-fledged MMO. It really is the closest thing to what a Souls-like game would be if it were an MMO. And you really see this and feel this when it comes to the combat of movement. By the way, when it comes to that movement, I personally feel like the inertia is a bit high, and I see it feeling quote-unquote heavy for a lot of people, especially when jumping. forward momentum is pretty annoying to deal with. Other than this, in a general sense, I feel like they did a pretty good job delivering us an actual Souls-like MMO that's an MMO first. Now, with all that general stuff out the way, let's get into more of the details, starting with the graphics and the look of the game. The first thing that stood out for everyone was obviously the graphics. Run on Unreal Engine 5, Chrono delivers very impressive graphical fidelity. There are just some really impressive scenes and looks, but as amazing as the character models and world look, there are some clear deficiencies in this department in the live game. For example, the lighting needs to be worked on.
Of course.
When the sun is out, the zones look amazing, but then look significantly worse during certain weather patterns or times of the day. There are also some areas that are just way too dark
bright
or way too saturated with smog or lights. Character faces as well. They look pretty good at some times of the day in angles, but at other times they look completely different in a bad way to what you created in the character creation. You can see an example here. The character looks completely different in the character sheet compared to the actual.
Yo, that looks exactly like one of my 7 girlfriends, bro. Damn. Trisha, is that you?
Actual in-game.
What?
While we're on the subject of character looks,
yo, that looks like Stacy. Yo, that's my other girlfriend. What the hell?
The customization.
That's crazy.
So the characters actually lacks quite a bit. At first glance, the models look great, and there seems to be a ton of options for adjustments.
Vivian.
But it just never really felt like we were able to make exactly what we wanted to. What I'm saying is that in some games, you can literally recreate a celebrity, for example. In Chrono, it's not really possible to do that. Now, with that said, you are able to make some crazy abominations. Expect to see characters like this in your game for sure. I also want to mention that there is no gender lock. Nor do certain classes lock you into a certain type of class-themed look. I think this is probably the best part about the character customization. Actually, no, I take that back. The best part is definitely the sliders, the body sliders.
Okay, dude, relax.
Definitely the biggest W. Let's talk about the structure of the game. When you begin, the game will lead you on a series of quests that guide you to your first Chrono Gate, which is your solo Souls-like boss fight at around level 4. This process only takes around 10 to 20 minutes tops, and most people will probably not be able to actually beat the boss unless you're using crossbow. Yes, it's actually quite challenging. Really good first boss encounter. This fight, by the way, really hooked me on the game because not only are you immediately put to the test, but you're also being exposed to a more meaningful combat experience early on, rather than just mindlessly spamming buttons on easy mobs.
That's smart.
Despite barely having skills at this point, it still felt really fun. Whether or not you clear this Chrono Gate from this moment on, your progression is up to you. There is no MSQ other than to go to the next Chrono Gate and kill that boss. You'll have 3 more, by the way, a total of 4 in the beta test. It's up to you if you want to take on these bosses with no gear at low level,
floating swords, all good.
You want to gear up and then come back to it. After beating or leaving the first Chrono Gate, you'll now focus on leveling up.
The bounties, all these things.
And gearing up to get stronger. This can be done in a multitude of ways, and the game encourages you to choose the content or progression path that's more fun for you. There is no one single way to do this, so let's go over your options. You have your side quests throughout different areas that will give you experience and rewards.
That's awesome.
And gold.
That's godlike.
You have dynamic subjugation zone quests that pop up in certain areas that also do the same. You have bounties, which are one-time PvE kill hunt quests that will have you hunt down a special.
Is that the Beast Titan? Zeke?
PvE kill hunt quests that will have you hunt down a special named mob. These reward you with big experience along with a bounty currency you can use to purchase limited items and gear. You can also choose to life skill, go out in the world, gather materials directly, and craft everything. Gathering, by the way, also grants you experience. You can even just run straight to the NPC that gives you a quest to get your mount if you want that out the game. There is a big emphasis on freedom and exploration in Chrono Odyssey, and what you'll learn at this stage is that no matter where you go or what you do,
you can do something.
You're going to run into something you can do or is worth doing.
Nice.
For example, After the Chrono Gate, I went to get my mount. On my way, I ran into a ton of materials that I could harvest to craft my next set of gear when I got back to town. I cleared some dynamic zone quests along the way, giving me some extra experience and loot. Discovered some field boss locations,
Cool.
and solo dungeon locations along the way.
That's
all of this.
That's literally an RPG. Like, you're getting the best RPG experience in an MMO setting.
Giving
Awesome.
me meaningful progression and on the way to my main objective that I chose for myself. In this case, getting them out. This was hands down the biggest draw for me personally in Chrono Odyssey, and is the reason why I believe that this game has one of the best canvases for
Exactly.
an MMO I've seen in recent years.
That's what I'm saying.
Whether you're solo or in a party,
You can always do
expect to
something.
actually go on an adventure when you leave town.
Exactly.
There are a lot of random things in the world you'll come across, making every zone worth having a look.
Exactly.
Or even a second look. It may be a zone you discover having an abundance of specific tier 2 resources, or a zone that can spawn a hidden boss. Here we discovered
That's
when
awesome.
you kill 3 or 4, can't remember exactly, specific mobs, it spawns a hidden elite boss. Things could certainly be different at the end game. When I asked the producer directly about whether or not this freedom would remain at the end game, he did confirm that this is what is intended, rather than the being another daily homework game.
Good.
What PvE and PvP content can we expect with Chrono? When it comes to PvE, expect anywhere from 3-player dungeons to 5-player dungeons, all the way to
Awesome.
10-player raids.
Yep.
These dungeons will reward you with the usual loot and experience. The only group dungeons we've been able to do are the 3-man dungeons, which felt pretty decent for the first introductory group dungeon. Loot wasn't bad, wasn't crazy. Unfortunately, in the most recent test, the second half of the dungeon, including the final boss, was locked out. I did get to experience the dungeon in full in the previous test, but can't comment on it considering this version is the only one we can talk about right now. There's also
So you got a design. Okay, so that's how you craft your gear. Design cave delver leather leggings. So you get your blueprints from these mobs and then you craft them later on. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool.
This version is the only one we can talk about.
That's
right
pretty
now.
awesome.
There's also other solo or smaller instance content, such as Trials, which is a big gauntlet-like solo dungeon where you'll go through multiple rooms to ultimately
Yo, what's up, Yav?
fight
What's up,
the
baby?
boss. I should add that there is a currency attached to the Trials, specifically allowing you to purchase additional goods as rewards. These goods ranging from permanent stat potions to gear itself. I should mention, though, these trials are limited, seeing as you need keys to enter. And if you die at any point, you exit the dungeon and miss out on whatever else was ahead of you. I know I mentioned that I wasn't going to bring up what specific things have been changed or addressed in the latest build. But the trials is one of them. You can see a pretty clear difference in the newer updated version in the official videos Chrono put out compared to what we have in what we will experience in our beta.
Okay.
Next, you have time portals that are little quick, easy instance dungeons that I wouldn't really call a real dungeon. Soloable, by the way. To enter these, you'll also need a specific key, which
This looks like all those like gacha games, those like artifact farming, you know, it's almost the same UI, right?
dungeon. Soloable, by the way.
Gives you all the available rewards. You need keys to get in there. I wonder where these keys come from. Oh, it says here, a time portal that leads to the past. Those who possess a key may enter this and discover abundant resources of primitive and iron ore. Keys can be obtained from merchants or by defeating powerful enemies. I really hope we're not like locked out on how many we can buy of these. That'd be awesome to get like infinite of these and just go grind. It could be fun. Or like I guess like a normal amount of like limitations on those, like I don't know, 5 or 10 a day. But being limited to those, and I hope it's not gonna be like, oh, you want to get more of those? Hey, come here. Come. For $10, I'll give you 5. Like, oh, bro, shut up. Don't do me that thing, bro. Don't do me that, like, battle pass, gatekeeping, pay $10 and we give it to you. Don't do that to me, bro. It's probably going to be limited with battle passers getting extra entries. I hope not, man. I hope not.
To enter these, you'll also
hope
need a
not.
specific key, which generally drops from bosses or elites throughout the world.
There you go.
These provide you with unique loot like gems you can socket into your gear.
It's a classic move
your skill
for sure.
levels. Don't expect a stellar experience when it comes to time portals, at least early stages of the game.
I 100% expect it for sure. I mean, it's literally there. Like, it looks so good, right? It's like one key. You can get those keys from killing bosses, or you could swipe and we can give you 5 of them. Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Because they're pretty brain dead. A going through the motions like instance. You'll also have solo dungeons that are labeled as labyrinths, which is usually a mini game puzzle-like instance with a boss at the
That's
end.
cool. That's cool.
These are absolutely worth doing, considering you get permanent stat upgrades or points on top of the experience.
That's pretty sick.
These solo dungeons, in my opinion, are pretty lackluster when it comes to the overall experience. I'm going to be honest, they feel a bit bland. They feel jank, especially with the current inertia with the player movements. Also, some of the mechanics with the arrows shooting from the statues are just kind of dumb. Literally can't even dodge them. Right now, these solo labyrinth dungeons are just things you do because you have to. They definitely need work. I mean, you're watching it right now, and yeah, exactly. Aside from the instance stuff, you also have open world encounters with field bosses
That's
or
sick.
world bosses you can group up for. These bosses will, of course, have a wide range of difficulty, some being pretty easy.
Oh, the
while
Void
others being
Nexus.
hard.
That's the
This
world
for
boss
example,
or
was
region boss.
insanely difficult one for our size and our gear, but it was actually really fun because of how challenging it was. I was expecting the world boss, field boss content to be kind of brain dead content like most world bosses.
Is it me when it looks clunky as fuck? It really looks, yeah, clunky. It really looks clunky, really. That's the first beta test they had, basically. That's what we are going to be playing on next weekend, basically. Now, if you compare this to the last video I just did, which was the new Chrono Odyssey / IGN video they posted, right? Where everything looks so super smooth. Yes, on the same thing. They worked a lot from this version to the new version. But yes, it looks really clunky. The bosses look really weird. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, it's a start. And he said that they fixed a lot of things from that beta that they did. So it's pretty good. But yeah, it looks
Hard
clunky.
MMOs.
Yes.
But these were surprisingly fun. I think mainly because of the punishment you take when you get hit and the combat just being a pretty fun experience. Of course, once you outgear
not in
these
game.
bosses,
Oh, okay.
they become a joke, but the on-level ones, surprisingly fun. PvP-wise, the only thing available right now are 1v1 duels and the ability to flag for PvP. 1v1
Flag.
duels are really scuffed at the moment, mainly because when starting the duel, a pillar spawns in the middle that has collision and is able to break line of sight.
Oh,
The dueling area is also very, very small.
Oh.
You don't recover HP after
that's funny. The PvP thing is an obstacle.
completing the fight, and you have to
That's
wait 60
fucking
seconds
funny.
between finishing duels. All just really bad. When it comes
That's
to
funny.
flagging, players have the option to flag up for PvP in town and venture out and combat anyone else that is flagged for PvP. The problem with this system, aside from the fact that no one actually flags because there is no current incentive to do so,
Yeah.
is that you can't even party up with friends to do this. It's just you versus everyone. The current infrastructure of PvP severely lacks, but the real content
Yeah, why would you be able to do that though? Like, you just have a whole group of people with you all flagging in a party and you just like slay everyone. That's kind of ridiculous. Hell no. If you want to do this, go to like the arena or whatever they have like in place for that, like a specific zone. They said like there's a contesting zone. Go there, do that shit. But if you want to flag with your friends, that's ridiculous, bro. Like, you're gonna flag with your 5 friends and take on the whole world? That looks so freaking insane. I mean, I would love that, but damn, like, hell no.
content is expected to come with the full launch of the game, primarily in the form of open world PvP.
Yo, cool as hell. Yeah, I would do that, bro. I would lead the movement, bro. Fuck it. Yo, me versus everyone, bro. Me and my boys, we're gonna flag up. Against everyone.
Zones in Eden, a PvEVP zone that has real rewards attached to it. The devs also said they could easily implement instance-based PvP like 3v3 or 5v5 arenas.
Yep, that's cool.
It would monitor feedback given in the upcoming beta test. So if you want those things implemented, be sure to provide that feedback. Other than the actual content, you're probably wondering what PvP itself feels like.
Let's see.
Well, there definitely seems to be some stuff that's just broken, some stuff that seems underwhelming, certainly a good amount of scuffery, but honestly, it's kind of fun. We flagged up.
It looks nice. You see this? It's not like extremely fast paced where like you can't catch the people's movement. There's no like bullshittery where it's like people just TPing left and right, TP, TP, TP. It looks, how does I say this? It looks fair. You know, like you have time to react to things. Yes, there might be some unbalanced things, obviously, but it looks to me pretty clean. It looks like, you know, decent area. You flag up. You have 4 skills here, 4 skills there because you have 8 skills in total. And it looks pretty good, honestly. Like in terms of like skills and everything, it looks pretty okay. Hope the PvP is gonna be good, man. I've been hyped. I've been so hyped too, bro. Like ever since I've seen the first video, bro, I've been hella hyped. I really hope they improve the clankiness and it will feel very smoother for sure. Hopefully, I mean, they pretty much did that in their new video, but like since we're playing the old build, we will not be experiencing that. But if you look at the new video they just released, I'm gonna post a video on it. Like we just reacted to it like a couple of minutes ago. You will see in that video that the combat is way more smooth than here. So they are actively working on it. It's for sure. It ain't going to be fair when it's pay to win.
Up and headed out in the
We don't know
world to
yet.
do some fights, and all in all, most of us had a lot of fun, mainly because of the combat.
This looks fun.
PCs don't lock you into place for 9 years, leading you to get one shot.
Exactly.
They're important, but also short. Whether you're ranged or melee, you have to actually land your abilities.
Yeah.
Blocks and dodges do exactly that. You can completely negate an incoming CC or skill by blocking or dodging.
Awesome.
Combat may not have been BDO ninja levels of speed, but it definitely didn't feel slow.
Thank you. That's literally what I'm saying. That's literally what I'm saying. It's not crazy fast like BDO when I'm playing right now, like TP here, TP there, incoming grab. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not TP there, like it's not that crazy levels of like speed, right? But it's not slow speed like RuneScape or like slash block, slash block, slash combo block. You know what I'm saying? It's not that slow as well. It's like rightfully so in a way where it's like not too fast, but it's not slow, so it feels great. It feels great. It looks really good.
Target lock is available, but honestly, not reliable at all. It's bad.
And if you're a ranged character, you need to land your skills with the mouse. So there's also an element of like difficulty, right? Like, yeah, obviously, if you're ranged versus a melee, it's super easy. Just nuke them down. Boom, boom, boom. But you can't just like target lock, I guess, and just do all your abilities. No. You have to actually aim. So there's a layer of toughness in that.
Terrible for range and certainly won't be used by good melee players. My group and I universally feel like there is some actual potential.
But this, he's locking in now. Hold on, he's locking in. So
my group and I,
he's locking in.
terrible for
You
range
can lock in the
and
enemies then.
certainly won't be used by good melee players.
Yeah. So you're locking in, but like if they move left and right, they dodge, you're not gonna be able to hit them.
My
Right?
group and I universally feel like there is some actual potential with the PvP if they can balance it out, clean it up, and make some good content around it. Speaking of target lock, let's talk about the combat. The overall foundation of the combat is action combat that leans Souls-like. This means iframe dodge rolls that consume stamina and can cancel you out of your attacks, basic attacks that are more meaningful, locked-in attack animations, taking hits being actually more punishing, not allowing players to just mindlessly greet attacks.
Perfect.
On record, you have 4 abilities on your hotbar for each weapon, totaling to 8. You have a basic attack LMB, left mouse button, special attack or ability, depending on your weapon, on your RMB, right mouse button, your Chrono Tector skill, which you can look at more as an alt, and up to 4 active mastery skills, only 1 being available during the beta.
Active mastery. What is this? Hold on. So this is like class mastery. I see. So you have 3 of them. Oh, 4 of them. You can choose between all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 7 of them available. You can choose 4 of them. So this is class only. So if you're an archer, if you're a ranger, you have ranger of them. If you're assassin, you got 4 assassin ones. I see.
15 total abilities you can press.
50. So it's 4. That's 8. Right? 8 skills plus your chrono detector, whatever. That's 9 plus 4. That's 13. Where is it? 15. What am I missing?
Depending on your weapon, on your RMB, right mouse button.
Oh, okay. Plus right click and left click. It's total up to 15. Gotcha. So you got 4 here. 4 here. That's 8. Plus your chrono detector. That's 9. Plus left click 10. Right click 11. And then 4 extra skills of your mastery. Class mastery 15. Gotcha.
Your chrono detector skill, which you can look at more as an alt, and up to 4 active mastery skills, only 1 being available during the beta. 15 total abilities you can press. While the combat is certainly on the slower side, it's not actually that slow.
Exactly.
Sure, you're locked into animations, but the abilities themselves don't feel overly heavy and clunky.
Exactly.
As some Souls-like games do.
Sure.
I actually really like the combat personally.
Yep.
To the point where I'd say it's one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah.
It's slow enough for anyone to quote unquote get
And
in the
react.
beginning, but there is definitely a higher skill ceiling
Of course.
for those who really want to maximize their efficiency.
Exactly.
And the more you do that, the more engaging the combat becomes.
Exactly.
Sure, you can just spam all your abilities and basic attack and deal damage, have fun, but actually trying to execute a proper rotation while fighting will be a much bigger challenge.
It's like Guild Wars 2. Like you have your actual rotations where you do insane amounts of damage, or you can just spam your abilities as they see fit, as you see fit. Basically, you see them on, you just spam them, and it's okay. It's not gonna be ideal, but you're gonna still do damage, right? The fact that this is like easy to get in but hard to master is what really is appealing for me, right? Like you can have all these like only 15 skills. You can just face roll your keyboard 1, 2, 3, 4, swap weapon 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do these things easy peasy, right? But the fact that you can like optimize your rotations with like you do your first skills 1, 2 on your left weapon, and then you swap weapons. You do like your 3, 4. You swap again. You do your 3. Swap again. Do 1. You know what I'm saying? Like when you play around these things, you can create like a flow. Like it's gonna be so smooth and so rewarding. That's what I like about this game. That's what I like, the complexity of it, and that's what's gonna be fun for me.
Not to mention, you literally have headshot modifiers if you're playing
Yep.
crossbow or bow.
Exactly.
Adding an
That's
aim
sick.
element to it.
Yep.
Weapon swapping is a big point of discussion when it comes to combat. I'm not the biggest fan of weapon swapping myself.
I'm a huge
but
fan.
Chrono does a pretty good job with it, and it's actually growing on me. As a
I'm
result.
really huge
For
fan
what
of it.
it's done pretty well. The transition between swapping is very smooth and quick, and the more comfortable you are, the better you'll get, and
Yep.
the more you'll notice yourself swapping back and forth.
Exactly.
All weapon combinations have benefits and buffs on swap, encouraging players to go back and forth.
Exactly.
The swap itself is kind of an ability sometimes in and of itself. For example, the swap could proc an effect, giving you back a good amount of your resource,
Yep.
allowing you to use more skills. Most weapon effects also are tied to the weapon in your hand, meaning a special passive you may get from your twin axes, for example, won't be applied when you swap to your chain blade.
That's so sick.
Not all, though. There are some abilities and buffs that do persist.
That looks so cool.
As mentioned in the PvP section, there is a target lock feature, but honestly, I found it to be more of an inconvenience than anything. If you aim your character or mouse, you'll land your hits. It's simple as that. The target lock is definitely better in PvE, but even then, with how big a lot of these monsters are, the way the camera pans while in target lock, the camera will auto zoom in a lot of the times, making it annoying to see. And
Yeah.
personally, I just turn this feature off 99% of the time.
Sure.
Overall, I personally did enjoy the combat, and I feel like a big part of that comes from the class design, which is the next section.
Nice.
Classes. This is going to be a relatively short section because one of my upcoming videos is going to be a full class breakdown video. With that said, there are 6 classes in Chrono Odyssey, each having access to 3 weapons. Only 3 of these classes will be available in the upcoming beta test: Swordsman, Ranger, and Berserker. Paladin, Assassin, and Sorcerer are the other classes which I was able to play for a day in the first beta test, but I can't share anything due to the fact that...
Oh, that's what I want. Look at the saber and musket. Oh, that looks sick. Or wrist blades, and oh, that looks sick. But I think I'm gonna lean towards the Ranger personally.
In the upcoming
right here, rapier and crossbow is my shit. That's my shit. I think I'm gonna be playing that. As much as I don't like Throne and Liberty, I really hope the developers follow their example of locking in and fixing what people hated in their pre-release stuff. Of course, I hope so. Like, please follow feedback and fix stuff that people don't like. So he just mentioned that in the beginning of the video, right? He did say, he did mention that he provided feedback and it's been already worked in with the new IGN video that we just saw, or the new Chrono Odyssey video we just saw. So that looks pretty awesome. Don't think the classes are gender locked? Oh, they're not locked. They're not locked. Nothing is locked here. Nothing is locked.
Said there are 6 classes in Chrono Odyssey, each having access to 3 weapons.
They're not locked.
Only 3 of these classes will be available in the upcoming beta test: Swordsman, Ranger, and Berserker. Paladin, Assassin, and Sorcerer are the other classes which I was able to play for a day in the first beta test, but I can't share anything due to the fact that it wasn't made available for this current version. Each of these 3 classes, the Swordsman, Ranger, and Berserker, are quite different from one another.
Of course.
And I feel like Chrono has done a pretty good job with the basic identity of these
Good.
classes.
I was gonna say that.
Each class resonated with people, and there aren't any that just felt garbage to everyone. I've personally played them all, and I originally thought it was a swordsman angle for me, but after trying Berserker, I'm kind of sold on Berserker now. I also thought, by the way, I could be a Ranger maid for a little while when I was trying Ranger.
I'm Ranger for sure.
Of these 3 classes, though, I probably have to say that Berserker was it for me personally.
But it looks really good, though.
Chainblades is just really sick. And
the Chainblade reminds me of fucking Kratos from God of War. It looks so sick, man.
Twin axes also just has a... It just has a pretty solid kit.
It looks so good.
Let's talk about the monetization next. The TLDR is that Chrono Studios has announced that they will never
Important! They said they will never, and I quote, it's on my video, the last video I just posted, the thumbnail. They will never have pay to win.
Any pay to win elements, and they will only monetize cosmetics and a battle pass. However, in another interview, they've stated that they...
That's what I'm talking about. This other interview apparently that came out that said they're gonna have some live quality of life enhancement available is kind of giving me the ick, bro. It's giving me the ick. I'm not too sure about this. BDO said that in the beginning. TNL said that in the beginning. You guys remember this when TNL came out and said there was not gonna be any pay to win? Do you guys remember this? And then what happened afterwards? Yeah. What happened afterwards? Yeah, exactly. Surely, I'll be want to live through it. Yep, never has in 6 months of release. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have a fun 6 months and then it's gonna die if it happens. Yep, that one's serious. Exactly. And you know what's crazy? Kanon said he went to see them, right? In their headquarters, I think in Korea. And he's like, yo, guys, can you guys chill on the pay to win? It's pretty trash. It's not really working well. And you know what the reply was? The TNL reply was? They said, we think it's absolutely fair. We think the pay to win is fair. So why would you remove it? We think it's fair. What? It's like there's a disconnect between the 2 audiences, the Korean audience and the Western audience, right? In Korea, or like the Asian audience, it's encouraged there to spend your money. It is encouraged. It shows status. Like you are encouraged to spend some of the money you make to get stronger in games, right? Because it gives you status, all these things. It shows off, whatever. In here, in the Western world, people don't like this. Don't like this. Also, what's up, Wizzy? What's up, baby? The Drizzer can slick ticket. Thank you. Hey, just went to the barber, bro. Hey, rate my fade, bro. Yeah, you like this? Yeah, yeah. Yo, ladies, chill. Ladies, chill, 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 ladies, chill. My bald brother. Nice dad. Shut up.
They could also monetize quality of
Yeah, because the Korean has no life. So what are you gonna do with the money other than pay to win? Yeah.
convenience goods, sparking some backlash due to the inconsistencies. The only thing I can speak to is what I've been told personally and what I've experienced off camera in person. And that's that this team seems very much against pay to win and
Good.
even continue to double down on their anti-pay to win stance.
That's what they should do.
Off camera. And yes, I asked about the specific loopholes, all of which they said no to.
Exactly.
They all genuinely seemed excited about being the first non-pay to win Korean MMO. Because I'm a glass is half full kind of guy, and because of the IRL interaction I had with them, and there were people of power present, I'm inclined to believe them. Would I bet my life savings on it?
Probably not.
Of course not. But it doesn't matter whether we believe them or not.
We're just gonna see
It's
it.
on them to prove it to us.
Exactly. We just have to. We have they have no we shouldn't be expecting anything, bruh. Like, we shouldn't be going into this game being like, oh my god, hopefully it's not pay to win. Just play the game. If it's pay to win, we opt out. That's it. That's literally it. There's no need to think about, oh my god, is it pay to win? Oh my god, there is an article. There's no need to doom, right? The game looks fire. They seem passionate. They tripled down saying there's no pay to win. Okay. Give it a shot. Right? Try it. We're going to literally try it next week. By the way, if you guys are watching this video, we're going to probably be doing a 24-hour stream next weekend for this game's release on the closed beta. And if I get any keys, hey, my boys, you're going to be getting some. You boys are going to be getting some, I promise. But yeah, honestly speaking, when it comes to this game, just give it a shot. Just wait and see. Literally wait and see, and yeah, the game's gonna speak for itself.
Convenience items are another story. If they do add in convenience items, I feel they should have for sure disclosed that in my interview.
Absolutely.
But again, regardless, we're all gonna find out eventually.
Exactly.
They do end up selling some convenience items like character slots or anything consistent with Path of Exile. I don't really give a shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If it's like stuff like more storage, whatever, yes. Is it pay to win? Absolutely. Right? My pay to win definition is maybe the same as everyone in chat right now. Anything that gives me an advantage, whether it's direct or indirect. Direct or indirect. Whether it's like inventory space, storage space, enhancement materials, familiars, all those things that give me an edge over someone else, that I can farm for longer, that I can grind for longer, that I can have more items in me, that I have to do less travel to the town because I can grind. All these things considered, they are literally pay to win. Right? You got pay to win above, and then you have to pay for convenience, quality of life, all these things. The moment you put a monetary value on these things, it's considered pay to win. There's no questions about that. There are no questions. Maple Story, they have pets. They loot stuff for you. Is it pay to win? Abso-fucking-lutely. BDO has the same thing. Abso-fucking-lutely. Anything that has a way to get more resources or better quality of life through monetization is considered pay to win in my books. Now, are there things worse than others? Absolutely. Will I be pissed if, for example, I can't make more than 3 characters because I'm not paying for a pass or for a character slot? I don't care. There are some things I don't give a fuck about, right? Just like Kanon said, there's some things I don't care about. More character slots, I don't care. There are things I don't care about. If you put a way to get stronger than me through money, I get pissed off. What guys spamming Hex? You guys are idiots, bro. I always considered a game being paid to win when you can get only specific items with paid money, but if I can get free to play with extra grind, I don't mind. I don't think it's paid to win. Sure. I mean, everyone has a different opinion, right? When everything way more, they don't stack silver, They don't stack silverways, pets, maids. Yeah, exactly. If back in the days BDO was like this, absolutely pay to win. I'm afraid they go down the route BDO was back in the day, where everything is too heavy. You don't have to pay to win for weight, or the game is unplayable. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm playing BDO right now, and if it weren't for all the pets I had, which I didn't buy any, by the way, but if it weren't for the pets I had and the blessings I have, whatever, that I can grind money to get them, the game will be unplayable. Real talk. Real talk. Back in the days when I played for 2 weeks, and I got the emails in game, and I showed you guys. I played from 2021, March 1, I think, all the way to March 15. I played for 2 weeks. I played for 2 fucking weeks. I couldn't pick up stuff without getting too heavy. I had no pets. I had no bitches. I had nothing, bruh. That shit was so unplayable. And I would get ganked by super strong players. And I couldn't do shit about it. So I quit the game. Straight up quit the game. Straight up. There is a limit to what you can implement in a game without ruining it, right? Path of Exile. Great example. Storage slots. Currency storage slots. Right? You get currency from mobs. In a real game, if you're new to the game, you have 4 bank slots, 4 bank storage slots, like big bank storages, big tabs, basically. You pick up your currency, boom, 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 you put it all there. All good. In every single one, there's no differences, whatever. You can buy specific bank slots designed for currency. Sounds like that shit. You can design for specific currency. So like all the currency you get goes in that tab. It's pretty nice. It's awesome. Is it pay to win? Absolutely. But is it game breaking? It's not game breaking for me. I don't consider that as game breaking. So for me, I'm okay with that. There's like different layers of pay to win that I'm okay with. And this is one of the examples, right?
Still a massive W in my eyes. Okay, so my overall honest thoughts on the game. As mentioned before, I love the canvas of the game. I love the combat. Classes feel great. Game is supposed to not have pay to win. Thematically, it's right up my alley. How can I not be excited about this game?
Absolutely.
However, there are 2 massive concerns I have with this game, assuming monetization is, of course, what they claim it to be. The first being how good the endgame loop will be.
Exactly.
It's already been stated that this game isn't going to be one that has some insane grind,
exactly,
crazy chase items.
Yep. So what do you do?
From a progression standpoint, I really hope they have enough build variety to keep players engaged,
yep,
facing multiple sets of gear,
yep,
as the gear incentive to continue.
Yep.
Downside to not having a grindy game is that you have no vertical progression.
Exactly.
When you hit gear cap. The day-to-day activities have to feel good and fun to do. There needs to be purpose. The endgame raids have to be peak.
Yep.
Quality content. The only thing we know is how it feels in the early game, and that is just never the full picture.
That's the thing, right? Like I said in my old video, you will always go from early to mid game. It's going to be a blast, right? There's a sense of progression. You are getting stronger. You are feeling the strength you're getting, right? You go from mid game to end game. Same thing. You're climbing up a stair. You're coming upstairs. You're going up, up, up. It feels great. It's awesome. You know, you're chasing items, chasing treasure items, chasing this, chasing that. It feels great. But once you hit the end game, what are we doing? That's where a lot of games lose players. They get to the end game sometimes too quickly. And if it's a game where there's no vertical progression, like Guild Wars 2, for example, you're going to be stuck at the same gear score as everyone else in what, a month, 2, 3 months? What then? What are we doing then? Special raids? Like, what are we chasing? How are we getting stronger? That was my concern that I pointed out last video. I talked about this in depth. I was like, if there is no progression for the end game, then what are you playing for? PvP? Sure. But what else? PvE wise, they said it themselves, only 5 to 10% of their players in a survey, obviously, are into PvP. So what are we doing with the other 90% of players that are into PvE only? How are you giving them motivation to keep grinding? Right? One thought is getting those extremely rare items, just like Guild Wars 2, those legendary gear, right? So everyone is on the same level. They all have like the same gear, the elite gear, or was it, I forgot what it's called. It's like exotic gear, right? They all have the exotic gear. And then a couple of people that grind harder, that do like map explorations, that do their like point of interests, their dynamic events, all these things considered, high-end PvE raids and PvP, they all have access to these different materials that can take and craft these legendary pieces of gear. Whether it's armor, whether it's weapons, whatever. It's going to be stronger. And you're going to be stronger by a little bit, not by too much, but you're going to get stronger. Right? These new cool legendary items, they look awesome. And you can chase for those items. Now, they're mostly seen as cosmetics because it's crazy beautiful the way they did it. But you do get a slight boost of damage from them. But is it significant enough for you to gap people? Not really. I don't think so. Unless it changed drastically. But when I played, it's not that crazy of a difference. But it is stronger, obviously, and it looks cooler, duh. But it's a item you chase for. So giving them something to chase for is amazing. And that's the thing that I'm scared of in a horizontal gameplay. Right? You want to appease the mass and give them like easy access to gear and easy crafting stuff and easy this, easy that. But once you reach the end game, what are you chasing? What are you chasing for? What are your goals? Right? You're not going to be doing the same bounties over and over again. They're going to be too easy and too boring. You're not going to be doing dungeons if they're too easy and give you no rewards. You're not going to be doing this or that if it gives you nothing, right? So there has to be an incentive somewhere, you know?
The end game is significantly more important. The second massive concern are the bugs. How will the game performance be? How bug-ridden will this game be?
Of course.
In its current state, the game has a lot of issues when it comes to the bugs. There's just way too many small bugs that diminish the polish of the game.
Sure.
Most of these aren't even game-breaking. Just a lot of small, annoying ones.
It's okay.
For example, my character's hair randomly disappearing. Not being able to interact with things when I'm trying to harvest.
Sure.
My character having to walk into position to harvest or interact with
Sure.
something for whatever reason.
That's expected.
Party/raid systems bugging out.
That's
Even
not
being
that's
pulled
not
into
normal.
The Void Gate, which is a solo instance, my friend is doing because we're in party. Somehow that happened. The list goes on. None of these things are game killers per se, but
Yeah.
when there's enough of them around, it certainly scuffs the experience
Sure.
quite a bit.
Sure.
If I had to describe what Chrono Odyssey feels like right now, I would say that it feels like a wannabe AAA game developed by an indie studio that does actually have the chance to be a AAA game.
That's what I said earlier. I thought about this game feels like a AAA game. Literally.
Of being one. If this was an alpha or early beta, I'd say it's looking pretty good. If this is what we're going into launch with, then honestly, we're in some serious trouble.
Obviously, but as you said, this is what we're going to be playing. This is the first beta or that is going to be available to public. And Kanon already said that they had significant improvement. And we saw this improvement with the video they just released a couple of hours ago. So I think it's looking pretty good in terms of like, I'm not trying to like be too optimistic or anything. I'm just being real. Like the gameplay footage they provided in the recent video that we just saw outshines this one by so much. So they are working on it constantly and they are taking feedback. So it's a good sign. This doesn't scare me a lot. Like the whole bug and glitches, it's going to be there regardless, right? It's always going to be there. Every single patch they're going to be putting forward, we're going to encounter some bugs, some glitches. Now, these little things like the hair not being there or like thing clipping, they don't bother me personally. For me, it's more stuff like combat is gonna be pissing me off more, or like gathering resources is gonna be pretty cringe. I don't like that. I completely agree with this. It's not this, they're not game killers, but having a lot of them stacked onto each other together, they could be a game killer for most people. That I agree with 100%. But I'm pretty confident that these little bugs, they could be something that could be fixed pretty easily.
I love
Over
how
time,
receptive
obviously.
the Chrono team is with feedback. I love the canvas. I think the potential is for sure there. But for now,
Sure.
that's all it is,
Yep.
potential. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's some serious potential, in my opinion. Like I said, there were a lot of things that they have already changed, which we can't talk about.
Exactly.
But the version you all will be playing this month will be consistent with everything I've described in this video. And that's going to pretty much do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember...
Hey, yo, what's this behind him? Yo. Hey, brother, I know it's June, brother. Hey, yo, what the fuck? Hey, what is bro playing with? Nah, Kanon, bro, brother. You thought it could blend with your shirt? Nah, bro. Hey, hell nah. What the hell is this? And why are they making up? Oh,
Twitch.
Jesus
I'm going to be
Christ.
streaming a lot of Chrono Odyssey, and I will be giving away
Jesus
as many
Christ.
keys as I possibly can on Twitch if I get some keys. I'll see you guys in the next video.
There'll be a video. Great video. Like, share, subscribe, guys. See you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.